And we're live. What's up, guys? Austin here with the All or Nothing Show, and I got my man Brock, the co-host today.
What's going on?
And we're going to be talking a little bit about, I guess, everything. We had a few questions asked on social media, and then also I have some things that I just want to talk about and ramble about that I've been thinking about. I threw a lot of bouts there. Talking about, thinking about, rambling about. And, yeah, we're just going to get into it. So today we're starting the show off with Adrenaline Shock.
Which I had never seen, and he picked it up. I think you said 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd never seen it. It looks pretty good, but then the first thing I noticed was the flavor is called frozen ice, which seems like, obvious. If it's ice, it's frozen, but I don't know. It seems like a really stupid.
I didn't even think about that when you said it.
It seems like a really stupid flavor, but
Frozen ice.
But so I don't know what to expect when I taste it. Am I supposed to taste water like ice, or I mean, if it was like blue ice or frozen blizzard, or I might get more of like a blue or blue raz sense, but I don't know what to expect. Maybe it'd be like a white monster or something. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking or going with. And it maybe if they put an icy, frozen icy.
Oh yeah, do you remember those icy drinks with the polar bear on them? Those are so good. My brother used to play hockey at Skate Nation whenever you'd have them.
Yeah, I remember those.
Those are good.
They're just like
good times.
I think there was another brand it's called Slush Puppy or something like that too.
Yeah, or even at like Costco they'd have like the icy you could buy, but.
Yeah. Well, let's crack into these bad boys, see what we're working with. These are 300 milligrams caffeine. I was like trying to make up after the bang. It seems like everybody has because that was probably the OG drink that had aminos in it. Yeah. But it does have EAAs instead of BCAAs. Electrolytes, so I guess some sodium, potassium, magnesium, and natural caffeine.
It also has that, I don't know exactly what it is. I think it helps with cognitive abilities, but CoQ10?
Yeah, CoQ10, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which they don't really have any of the ingredients listed like
how much,
for dosaging, so I'm sure they're minuscule if they didn't want to list it. But let's give it a go. Let's get our caffeine water in.
It smells kind of like a Sprite. Yeah, caffeine water.
It's a all right.
It's not what I expected. I was expecting something different, but I don't know how to describe it.
I get very, very hard in the lemon. Like lemon's like citrus AF. Very citrus.
It's like
citrus.
It's like Sprite if you took out the lime and it's just lemon, and so it's a little like bland initially. Then you get some like sweeter lemon in the middle, and then it kind of leaves your taste buds.
That ain't bad. It ain't bad. It wasn't what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's not what I think when I think of frozen ice. I don't know what I think.
I'm not sure if you watched the last episode with Nick, but I've bumped my rating scale up for you guys
to
10. Yeah.
Do we still do decimals or just?
Yeah, you can still throw the decimal in there, but now I've opened the range up, so it's messed up my internal scoring, but I'm gonna adjust. I'll let you go first, my man. 1 to 10. 10 being, I don't know if you've ever had a 10 in your life. I
don't feel like you can rate things 10 because then it's like...
It is the best.
It is the best and nothing ever can like beat it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like you can rate anything 10. Maddie might be different.
She's got a pocket full of them.
Yeah. But with this, I want to say a 6 or 6.5 at the most. Probably a 6.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable enough to drink, but I probably wouldn't go out and get another one or buy it myself. But
no.
I'm not mad. I'll drink it. I'll enjoy it.
I was definitely thinking 6, mid 6, like 6.3, 6.4.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like Brock mentioned, not something I'm gonna be like, oh man, next time I see it at the store, I'm gonna get it. I'd be willing to try the other flavors, but this one doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't get me hyped.
I've never had like a Mike's Hard Lemonade, but I feel like this is what it would be
now
like.
That you said that.
I've never had it. Is that what it's kind of like without
dead
the alcohol?
Serious. It is.
Yeah.
Mike's Hard Lemonade. Very, very lemonade-y.
It seems like a bland lemonade.
Exactly.
With a little sweetness, but not enough. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's a few things I wanted to talk about, and I was thinking the other day, and I saw a video. It might have been a Gary Vee video. It might have been, I don't know who posted it, but just starting about, and hopefully this helps people out there that might be going through the same feels, or, even I go through it daily. I'm sure Brock does too, but when you first started like recording yourself, especially for like your quick 3 breakdowns, stuff like that were super simple but very informative, very knowledgeable, and you were able to crank them out pretty well back when the gyms were open and whatnot. Were you ever dealing with anything internally that you were like, damn, oh, like after you finished it, you were like, man, that's stupid. I'm not going to do it. Like your first video ever. Like, how did you break through the ice and realize, like, man, this ain't that bad, and I'm actually, I actually can do something to reach people with that.
So I'd always been like on camera, but since I was like really young, so I think by the time that I am like, 18, 19, 20, it's like second nature almost to like be on camera, stand in front of people, talk, whatever it is. Because like when I was 11, I had a tech YouTube channel. Are we checking everything?
Yeah. Oh, we're solid. I thought I heard something.
All right, do you want to do like a cut?
No, keep rocking.
Oh, we'll keep rocking. All right. So anyway, I had a YouTube channel when I was 11. That was a tech channel, and this was at a time when like YouTube wasn't really quite what it is. It was still super popular, but it like you could, if you had 500 subs, that was kind of like a somewhat big deal, or at least you were like on your way. And so being 11 or whatever, and I had like 200 subs. I had made crappy videos where I was like literally just using like photo booth almost to like record myself.
Did I miss something? So you started at 11 on YouTube?
Yeah.
Did you delete that channel?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Which
okay.
I regret so much because I feel like at that time, like having 200, almost 300 subs, video quality was awful. I was like, if I would have kept that up, of course the quality would have been better.
Yeah.
I could at least, confidently, I would say I would probably have minimum like 50K subs right now, probably more.
Yeah, well the thing is, and then also something
it's so saturated right
something to look back at and be like, damn, that's where I started, or like show people, damn, that would
there's
cool.
There's some people, like I remember when I was posting these videos, unboxing therapy. Do you know what that is?
No.
He has like 4 million. He's like one of the bigger unboxing like tech guys. But he has like 4 million or 2 million, something large. And when I was doing this, he only had like I think 20 or 50,000 subs. So I'm like, if I just grew on close to that scale. But anyway, point is, I had been doing like videos and putting myself out there since I was really young. So at this point, like filming isn't too hard to do, and being on camera and like just trusting myself. It takes a while to get used to your voice and seeing yourself do all that.
Yeah.
But that's not to say like you're gonna go through times where people kind of like laugh at you, or you think you look stupid and things like that. Trying to think where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think that like, I don't know, I was trying to get your
practice, like anything, is really what I'm
exactly, but that's what I was kind of trying to pull out of you. Like, if you can remember back to like your first few videos, I guess like maybe not at 11, because 11, I think you even had at 11 years old, I think you have more balls, or most kids do, because they're kind of more fearless. I think the older you get into your later teens, early 20s, you do, when you shouldn't, you quote unquote respect people's opinions or others' opinions too much, and you're like, oh man, I wonder what they'll think, or oh, this is going to be stupid.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't post my like lifting footage really at all until I was like 17, 18, like almost out of high school, because I had so many people that if I just posted my deadlifting like PR, and I think I had like a squat PR was the only thing I'd ever like had up on my Instagram, and like you get so many people that are like making jokes like, oh, like you're a bodybuilder, like, oh, you protein, or you got your protein shake, just dumb kid stuff, and people just kind of pick on you, and it's not really like a direct like they're making fun of you, but you can tell it's in like a joking manner. Yeah. And so you kind of feel like I'd just rather not talk about it or post about it. So, but then you might look back and regret, A, you don't see your progress, and then B, you could have had a bigger following or whatever it is. So I started posting content when I had a little bit more support. I felt like I had a better physique, something worth posting or worth showing. And then with the stuff I post now, I felt a lot less nervous or stressed about posting because I knew it was helping people. Yeah, that's and that's different. Like if I'm just posting like my own progress, some people might think, oh, he's not strong, or he thinks he's big, or whatever it is. But with this mobility stuff, it's like, what is someone going to say? Like, oh, you think you're so smart, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's just out there to help people. You don't have to follow. You don't have to listen to it. So it's easier for me to kind of post that and not feel as nervous or threatened about people like coming at me or making jokes behind my back, because at the end of the day, it's strictly positive and like informative content. For other people posting different stuff, or starting your own business or whatever it is, I think it's a lot harder because you do take in a lot of other people's opinions more often. And sometimes you just gotta ignore those opinions, especially if it's from people that aren't doing things themselves. That's one thing too that I try to do, because I went through a phase of like in middle school with different YouTube channels or creative avenues I went down. I handled a lot of like not direct bullying again, but especially in this day and age with technology, it's a lot of passive bullying where people won't say stuff to your face. It's the side, jokes they make, and things like that. And I think a lot of that just kind of toughened me up, and to the point where now I try to, if I see anyone else trying to be creative and either not getting that much support, or I can tell they're a little nervous, I try to support that YouTube channel, support whatever avenue they're going through, because I know that I would have appreciated that, or did, when other people reached out. Because it is hard to step out of your comfort zone with a lot of these things and be creative when a lot of people just want you to follow the grain or the simple path or just do what everyone else does.
I definitely agree. I agree. And I just wanted to ask this question because I know, because I've been through that, and I go through it even now, with these shows, not so much these shows anymore, but the first few times, I was unsure about this thing. So I turned on the mic, and if you ask Griffin, because I was going to get him to help me 3 years ago when I first bought this first mic, and I opened it up, hooked up Audacity, and I was going to have my first little talk on it 3 years ago. It took me goddamn 3 years to actually get this thing going. And I sat there probably for an hour 3 years ago in my living room, hitting the record. I would talk for maybe 5 minutes, and I stopped it. And I'd be like, oh, that's stupid. Or this is going to be dumb. And I'd erase it. I'd take a little 5-minute break, do it again, and erase it, and do it again and erase it. And I did it for an hour, and I was finally like, you know what? I boxed it up and put it in my car. And I was in 3 years.
Something you realize, too, is anytime you think, oh, well, finally, I got a good take or a good video.
Yeah.
2 days later, you're going to be like, that was crap. This is much better now. And then you're going to think that's crap. And it goes on. I was talking to Griffin the other day about it, because anytime both of us do video work and stuff, and anytime we come out with let's say today's video or something, then we're like, oh, this is sweet. This is way better than what we used to do. But then we both know months from now we're going to look at it and think, this is amateurish. What was I thinking?
Yeah, dude, did I even give effort?
Yeah, so it's nothing's ever going to be perfect when you start it. And I think that's why I'm glad I started on my own YouTube channel doing these Sunday spills where I can just kind of rant for
and that's exactly what I want to talk about. You starting, just doing. And I think there's so many people out there that even, like I said, the reason I want to talk about it is because I know deep down I have a little bit of it still left in me, to where I'm like, man, I hold myself back so much. And I know that so many people out there probably have good stories to talk about personally, that shit that they've been through or shit that they're going through currently that could help a lot more than they know. But they're just too scared.
I mean, it's tough, and I just think, I don't know, it's hard to just kind of break through that when you do have a little bit of that self-conscious kind of or it's not a self-esteem thing, but you're just thinking what people are going to say, but I don't know. In the reality, you just got to look at it and be like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And it's really not much. It's oh, you might get one comment or one thing, but honestly, the biggest thing I've noticed, and again, I'm sure there's a lot of people that talk behind the back or in separate DMs or whatever like that. But never once do I get a face-to-face interaction with someone that says something negative to me, and extremely rarely have I ever gotten a comment or a DM. I had someone, I think I deleted all the nonsense, but is this dude that some random guy saw my Smith machine video that I said Smith machines aren't good for squats.
Yeah.
And he was DMing me or commenting, and I took it to the DMs because it was just nonsense. He was demanding I have studies that prove that Smith machines are worse for you than free weight squats. And I was like, there's no direct study that does that, because it's pretty common sense that free weight squats are better for your free range of motion for your body and joints than a fixed position machine. And then one of my points in the video was about bar path, and he was like, there's no study that proves there's a proper bar path. I was like, if you think that your bar path when you're squatting can just be a squiggly line, and you know what the sad thing is? Dude squats 405.
Okay.
But that doesn't always mean you know what the hell you're talking about.
No.
So, but point is, you're rarely going to get faced with that adversity, at least in black and white kind of text, comment, whatever it is. So honestly, your worst fears are extremely unlikely, and honestly, you'll probably get more support than you think.
Yeah, I feel unless you're putting out content or advice that you are truly unsure about and not confident in, and somebody else may try and correct you, hopefully they do it in a respectful way, whether it's reaching out in a comment, respectfully, or in a DM being like, hey, trying to at least break it down the correct way. But if people are just trashing you via DM or behind your back, whatever, they have an insecurity thing going on, and I don't know, the way I see it is, if you're truly intent to help people and be positive and just try and give some value to people that may need it, even though they might not have asked for it, it's only a good thing. And
yeah, I feel like
can come
you
back
can't
from it.
knock positivity or something positive that you're trying to do, or like a skit or joke you put up, or a post that I put up. Like, as long as I'm not out there trashing people or like talking myself up to be something I'm not, then I don't think there's anything wrong, and I shouldn't expect to get any kind of like negative feedback. And if I do, it's probably, like you said, someone who's just out there trying to be negative or whatever it is. So
yeah.
I don't know.
But again, if you have something you were trying to do, or like you have ideas, just do it. I wish I had somebody tell me 3 years ago to start this a long time ago, because I could have been like 100 episodes in now and like probably have invested some more money into this, maybe actually like having like a legit setup. But the time will come to where I'll I'm making goals now to make these more consistently and actually try and bring some type of value each episode instead of us just getting on here and bullshitting, which is good. But I want to be able to give back some way, since me and Brock both are in the fitness industry. We might not be big time yet, but we're currently going through it. So I feel like we can give some insight on things that we've gone through or currently going through with training, personal training, clients, potential facilities being built for the fitness industry, and also, the dietary supplement industry that I'm in, that I've been in for over 5 years.
I think the biggest thing is just putting out content, because like that's something I'm even trying to do, and you kind of mentioned it like. You didn't really mention it directly, but I haven't posted as much stuff recently because this quarantine stuff. It's not really directly that I don't have like a gym to post at, but it's almost like, not that I have a mental block, but I almost don't know what to post right now because the gyms are closed. So if I do post my workout footage of like equipment that I have, people can't relate.
Yeah. And
then if I post mobility, it doesn't seem like people really want mobility posts right now, and they'd have to be doing stuff in the home. And so it's almost like I'm at a roadblock to where. And I don't want to be posting a bunch of like home workouts that I don't even do myself.
Yeah.
And there's already plenty of workouts you can find on YouTube and Instagram. So I kind of feel at a weird spot, but at the same time, I feel like I need to keep getting content up, because that's the biggest thing. Like, if you just, have your feet stuck in the mud on the podcast or whatever it is, like, you can't expect something to grow if you're not continuously putting effort. So that's something I've tried to do with. I've had so many different YouTube channels, I won't even get into it, over the years. And I think. Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
But the point is, this recent one, that I'm posting, I'm just posting for fun when I feel like it, and as much as I can have content. So that's something I think the biggest thing is just keep putting out content, because if you stop or slow down, you're gonna regret it in the long term, because you don't know how much you could grow. Because I feel like with anything, if you do it long enough, it can only get better and grow.
Yeah.
So
yeah. To add on to that, and we can move on, is like, when I think of like GYMFLO and this podcast and anything else like the skits that we do, make sure that you're doing it because you enjoy it and you want to have fun, not because, like Brock mentioned earlier, there's other paths that people want you to follow or expect you to follow, or you're trying to get clout, or like, I hate saying that word, it's so gay, but trying to get like, viral, or like trying to be hip, I guess, and that sounds like a boomer thing. Trying to get hip. God, I can't win, but don't do it just because everybody else is doing it. Truly find what you love doing and just do that. Put it out there in the world, and other people, the right people, will end up finding you and following along, and hopefully enjoying and getting some type of value from it. But not that we're switching gears 100%, because I still have a question for you, and it's after a conversation me and Griffin had a few weeks ago, last time we all worked out, is how crazy organized you are with your day. And I think that would be pretty good insight on, like, because I am not the greatest. I am definitely on the fly, and I don't think that's my best I guess plan of action, or the routine that I should be in is on the fly. I should definitely be a lot more dialed in and like have a schedule. Obviously your schedule's a little bit more free, I'm sure, during the quarantine, but he was telling me, like, you have little goals tacked out throughout the day, dude.
So, yeah, I feel like I have an idea of probably what he was saying. So, my mind, something I realized, like, over the past few years, my mind thinks in, like, 15-minute increments.
Okay.
So, like, I can almost, like, visualize certain events or what I'm doing in my day and how long things are going to take. And so I can almost, like, stack every event or things I have to do kind of within 15-minute increments. So, like, even like this, like, okay, we started at, like, 1 o'clock. I have an idea of it ending around 1:30 or 2. That's a 15-minute drive, probably over to BJ's. I have to get groceries. That'll probably take 30 minutes. Like, I have, like, these, like, blocks in my head. And I don't know. I just do it without thinking, though.
But it's good.
But if I had to break it down, that's how my mind's working. And I am just like overly organized, and I'm all about like efficiency, like not just like with getting groceries or working out or whatever, but just like with making money, with handling my time, because I feel like what is the benefit of making a lot of money versus not? Of course, like, okay, you can buy bigger, better things, but ideally you're not. If you make a ton of money, let's say, and you're working like 80 hours a week, well, what's that worth if you can only enjoy it for so many hours, right? So the goal is like to make as much money as you can, or maybe the same amount you're making now, but faster, more efficiently. So that's kind of how I operate, both with work, but also with everything I do. Is like, how can I be more efficient, bundle things together, push clients together at the same time, so I have clients back to back instead of separate days, because then there's drive time. So I don't know what you want me to answer as far as my day. Hopefully that kind of cleared up how I'm organized mentally.
Yeah, a little bit, because so.
What did Griffin say?
Well, he definitely said you have your days filled up. Well, when there isn't a goddamn pandemic going on, you're pretty much stacked up. Your days Monday through Friday, even the weekends are, this and that, and then like you're in bed by 8:30. For me, the way I'm going to tell you right now off the top of my head how my days work, especially during the weekday. I have until after I finish training clients in the morning. I have until pretty much I fall asleep. And if I can get anything done during that time, I get it done. There's nothing scheduled, so if I might get one thing done, I might get 0 things done. Or I might get 10 things done, but nothing. It's like whatever's on the top of my head, I get done.
I think what I do is I don't give myself free time almost.
Okay.
And it's not like the way like talk myself up, but like, one, I'm usually busy enough with either freelance work, with daily life stuff, like I hate to keep using groceries as an example, but just, errands you have to run, working out, that like, okay, I figure it out, like, okay, here's my like wake up and bedtime, which you should already have figured out. So that's a tip that'll spice up your life. Keep you like, A, getting enough hours of sleep, and B, probably be a little more productive if you have a schedule. So like, I wake up at 5 or, before this quarantine. Then I work out at 6 to like 8 basically, or 7:30. And then I know from like 8 on, like I'll kind of break down my day that way. And God, where was I going with this? Keep losing train of thought.
Well,
no, it's back. It came back. Point is, I don't give myself like free time. Like I kind of bundle things up in my day. I figure out when I'm doing things, how I'm doing things, so I can be like, again, efficient.
Yeah.
And even when I do have free time, I try to give myself things to do. So if I have like an hour or two of free time, I'm like, oh, well, this is a side job I'm trying to do, or oh, this is something I've been meaning to like listen to or get done. Or I try to think of things that I can be productive, because something it's a pro con of mine is like, I hate feeling like I'm not being productive enough. And I'm like a big workaholic.
Yes.
And so kind of Maddie beats me over the head a little bit about it, because I'll just be working like way too probably much, even when we should have free time and should have time to just kind of hang out, relax, watch Netflix. So what I do try to do though is have like a cutoff time to where it was around like 6:30 when I was have training clients and such, but like 6:30 or 7 o'clock, no more video editing, no more work. Time to just 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I can just clear off to where Maddie and I can watch a movie show, fully hang out, and have time together. Ideally, no technology. So, yeah.
So let's talk back before the pandemic hit, like to give people, I guess, a little more insight on what you might do and how you do effectively knock out many different styles of work too. So like you mentioned, you do video editing, you personal train, and I'm assuming you might do other things to help out what other clients you have, but like you do what for who? Like, what do you do? For editing, like
for editing,
yeah, like
it's mostly like realtors, so I do some local real estate work. I do some or mostly online realtor work, but I also do just kind of any kind of video editing for clients, businesses online. Usually marketing content or media, things like that.
And you make a very good living doing that.
Pretty good living, yeah.
I think a lot of people underestimate how much you can do with as little, not to say you don't work a lot, but how efficiently that you get shit done and you still have a good amount of your day.
That's what I was trying to, that's one thing that I didn't really realize it until, I don't even know where I learned it. I think it just naturally kind of fell into my place, but it's something that Griffin actually took away from like talking to me and made me feel like I'm like some kind of philosopher or something. But I was explaining to him what I just said was like making money as efficiently as possible. Don't think about your money as, oh, I make, let's say, $500 in a week or whatever. Try to think of it like, how much do you make per hour? And can you make more per hour? Like, can you cut that down? Like, if I'm doing a video, like, here's a good example why I only have like,
Let me hear it.
here's a good example why I only have like 4 or 5 personal training clients. And I've narrowed it down to like my only kind of like select group. I'm not like exclusive, like I'm like the best trainer in the world, but it's just what I can handle, my people, or whatever. So, I realize that if I personal train somebody, I'm only making, at where I work, basically $22 an hour. Okay? But if I video edit, I can do 2 or 3 videos within an hour and probably make $20, $25 per video. Mm-hmm. So that averages around like $60 or $75 an hour. So what should I be spending more of my time doing? I could be a lot more efficient editing videos. Now, there is the point of like, okay, well, maybe you only have so many videos to edit, or it could be any kind of freelance work, maybe graphic design, whatever it is. Maybe you only have so much work there, so then you can fill up your other time with personal training. So you still want that consistent base. I mean, let's say you work a 9 to 5 or 9, you still want that consistent income, but trying to, at least your side hustle, your freelance work, whatever it is, trying to make money as efficiently as possible. Not to turn this into like a finance podcast, but I think that's just. But I mean, it applies to other aspects of your life as well. It's just trying to do things faster and more efficient, because I think, the whole phrase "time is money," but I mean, you really can. The more you can get done faster, then you can do more. You can have more free time. You can do more work, get more done, get things completed faster. So I think you can't put a price on like saving time.
Almost, so what's Jocko say? Discipline equals freedom. What is it?
Yeah, that's his phrase.
Yeah, I mean, if you can be disciplined and be effective, or follow a routine and a schedule, disciplined enough, you create more freedom. Yeah,
and I mean, you got to think about how. I don't know. You don't want to obsess over it, but at the same time, like I've realized though that if I try to, because a lot of people try to probably do this, like eat while you work. The problem with that is you're being inefficient at both. Well, like you're not eating fast enough, and then you're not working fast enough.
Definitely, trying to eat. And I definitely don't think you're as focused. Obviously, when you're just like you're half-assing. Definitely.
Yeah, so that's something I learned, and so now I'm like, okay, let me eat, and then while I'm eating, I can watch whatever entertainment. So I almost give myself that like 20-30 minute break to like relax, enjoy whatever podcast, video, movie, show, whatever, eat, and then I can get back to work, fully focus on that. Because I think there's an advantage to multitasking, but I also am kind of under the mindset of like, for the majority of things, there's no such thing as multitasking. You can't fully complete that task as efficiently as possible if your like mind's all over the place. So I guess I'll leave it at that. But yeah, just trying to be as efficient as possible with your life and with your time, because again, like there's only 24 hours in a day, and I hear so many people make excuses like, oh, so and so, sure, that might be the same 24 hours, but they have this opportunity or this life, and it's like, stop looking at so-and-so and just go make your own 24 hours more efficient, better, make time in your own 24 hours and stop. I don't know, people just make so many damn excuses. I don't know what to say.
And I think a lot of people worry about, and I used to do it myself, worry just about what other people are doing that would also obviously take up your time, because you'll be like, oh man, you'll be so caught up in what everybody else is doing, you aren't even thinking of putting any effort or thoughts into what you could be doing, whether it's be picking up some freelance side work or just doubling down on whatever you're doing, or taking care of your clients or customers you already have, customer acquisition, stuff like that, just giving your all attention to them.
There's always more you can do. Like I see you hustling, and grind with a lot of things you can do. But I mean, I can even look on the outside and say, well, or you probably even do this yourself. You could say, well, this 1 hour that I'm napping or doing whatever, or in between clients, I could be more creative, trying to like come up with this or come up with that, and like that's kind of how my mind works. And it's a pro and it's a con, because again, like you're kind of obsessing over it, and like you don't give yourself as much free time probably as you should. So that's something I have to kind of like watch myself with and give myself some time to like relax and take away from work. And this quarantine's been nice to kind of like have plenty of time to do my freelance work, and honestly, it's been a little bit low, it's just like everyone's work has been. But just trying to just think like, how can I be better? And it kind of goes back to like lifting everything. Like, how can I be better? Like, what can I do more? Like, what am I not missing? Can I implement this in my diet or whatever it is? It's like, how can I be better? More efficient. During this free time, I could work on a website for like my video editing or something I'm thinking about, because I have a lot of clientele, luckily, through this group, But, if that went sideways, or if I want more, clients or whatever and work, then I need to go this route. So, I don't know. Just always thinking, how can I be better?
Yeah. And I definitely think, when you mention fitness and working out, that is a structure. I feel like if you aren't, and not that you have to be lifting to be successful or like really efficient with your work, but I think if you can focus on you and get your life in order and like really challenge yourself physically and like bring structure into working out, eating the right foods and stuff like that, and really tasking your body mentally and physically, it will transfer over into like all the little potholes or holes in your ship that you have with your work or your relationship. I think if you can really like set hard discipline to that, and it's simple because like you said, they're both the same concept, not skipping corners, making sure that you're following, like I said, structure and discipline with those, working out every day, eating right, drinking your water, getting some sleep. You'll start to see the other holes, like I said, throughout your day and work and stuff like that, and I think they help.
I don't think I mentioned this on a podcast, but tell me have I talked about how I like kind of prioritize like things in my life, I guess?
No.
I think I told Griffin this maybe. It's basically like I realized quickly, I think I realized this in like high school, is like you should prioritize things in the order that make you happy. It sounds really stupid, but like I notice that lifting is like my cornerstone. Like if my lifting's not going well and I'm not having good workouts or whatever, it throws everything off.
Yes.
And that, like, for example, I guess, to piggyback off of your, like, analogy, like, that pick whatever's going to fully sink your ship. If something's just going to be an inconvenience, slow the ship down, whatever it is, that's different. But figure out what's going to sink your ship. Maybe it is work, maybe it's family life, whatever it is. Figure out what your, like, cornerstone thing is. For me, it's lifting. So I make sure, first and foremost, my workouts are good. If homework has to suffer, if work has to suffer, money, honestly, if relationships at some point have to suffer, then so be it. If I can't have as much social life, then so be it.
Yep.
I know that working out is like the most important thing to me because it keeps me happy, keeps me healthy, and all that kind of trickles down to everything else. And then, the next thing is probably relationships. Like if as long as me and Maddie are in a great relationship and I'm, giving her the love and attention that she needs and that, we have, then that can carry on to other things. And like, it kind of goes down that way until you can realize, okay, school, work, whatever, it's important. But if you don't have those kind of main cornerstone points, then I don't know. It's kind of like you got to figure out, I guess, what's most important to you. Like you said with lifting, it's kind of like how I prioritize things in my day. So like that's what, kind of why I work out first thing in the morning, because I know it sets my mindset up for everything else I'm about to do.
Dude, I think that's huge, working out in the morning. Back when I was able to do it, and I still could now, I sort of give myself slack, I guess, or an excuse, because I do train my clients usually. I guess before quarantine, I was in there at 5:30 in the morning, so I'd have to be getting up at 3 to be able to eat a little something before I go work out. So it would just have me shortening my day a lot to be able to go to sleep in time. But I do think starting your day off accomplished, like working out or doing cardio, fasted cardio in the morning or something, really helps me out. When I was doing that, brought some structure, but I still work out daily. It's tougher now with the quarantine, but I still try and get it in. I didn't work out yesterday, but it is what it is. You got to take it with a grain of salt during these times. You got to be able to.
Gains are all gone.
Yeah, I know, right?
But no, one thing I wanted to touch on, I guess, and it kind of answers that one question we had on Instagram, was kind of like how do you I don't know exactly the question, but kind of the idea of like how do you stay on top of your goals and avoid like bad habits during this quarantine. I think the biggest thing is just have structure and have a schedule. Like, even if it's simple, like, okay, 8 a.m. I'm doing so-and-so's workout I found on Instagram, or 9 a.m. I'm making breakfast, and 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. I'm checking on the kids, and like whatever it is, like you need to have structure in your life, or else it can just be willy-nilly. You could just end up just completely wasting 3 hours doing nothing,
that was
watching
me.
Whatever. So
last week I had a few days to where I woke up, I trained my clients, and I got home. But in my mind, I knew I was supposed to come out here, work on some Photoshop stuff, and work on this text messaging platform I'm trying to be able to figure out, but still got me stumped. But I was going to take the rest of the evening and do that. Once I got home, I knew that I didn't really have a schedule. I could go out there anytime I needed, or later in the day. And next thing you know, I sat down, started watching YouTube, laid down on the floor, still watching it. Next thing you know, I passed out. 3 hours later, I woke up on the living room floor, and I was like, God Dang it.
It kind of goes back to, now we're going to piggyback off of Jocko's thing, but discipline equals freedom. It's like having that discipline to say, like, you know, that's not okay to, like, you know, I don't know. It's not
I didn't need it. I didn't. It's not something I needed. Like,
yeah, like you got to be hard on yourself and be like, okay, like I don't need to waste this time watching so and so because I have the time to, or whatever it is. It's like you just, I don't know. Like if you want to be better than the average person, you got to do what the average person isn't doing. The average person is probably watching Netflix, is relaxing during this quarantine stuff. You need to be out there hustling so that once things do pick up, you're way ahead of the game. Like I'm, you know, starting to think about what content I want to create now so that once we get out of quarantine, I got great content ready for people to, you know, view on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. And you just got to, you know, use this time to plan ahead, not relax, not take your foot off the gas.
And like now that we're getting on to the quarantine and people just sitting back and hitting the gas or hitting the brake or putting it on cruise control, it's like I see other people, and I am in the personal training industry, obviously with supplements though too. I have GYMFLO, but I'm a personal trainer full time, and I had 8 or 10 clients throughout the gym when Gold's Gym was open. Once they closed, I had to pivot very quickly to go buy equipment, make sure that my clients were still taken care of, because, you know, if my mindset's off and if I don't have my shit together, my clients I'm the leader. They're going to fall off. I knew that they would be falling off left and right if I just didn't have anything for them to do. So I took it upon myself to go ahead and buy weights, even though I didn't want to. I really didn't have the money at the time. Spent a couple $100s on dumbbells, battle ropes, etc., and started figuring out places I was going to be training. I know other people that didn't. Once this shit hit, they realized, oh shit, I guess I ain't got no gym anymore, so I guess I'm out of a fucking job, you know, blah, blah, blah.
There's so many people I think that have just sat on their hands during this time, and especially if you have families, bills to pay, like, so what if, like, these apartments, complexes that you're at say, oh, we'll defer the payment.
Fuck that.
It still has to get paid. I edited a video actually recently, and I knew this, but since I don't have, like, a mortgage, I don't really think about it, but, like, you know, if these people are filing for forbearance and stuff or pushing their payments off, like, you're pushing them off, but they're going to get paid.
They aren't going anywhere.
So, like, if you push off, like, $2,000 of payments, you're going to have to pay that in July or August or at some point. Even if they spread it out, your monthly payment may be $1,200 a month. Now it's going to be $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 a month because you defer those payments. So, you know, don't sit on your hands. Like, Maddie right now, as we speak, is grinding on, like, Instacart, doing what she can because she was out of work. There's so many different businesses right now that are delivering groceries, delivery in general, like Amazon and stuff. Like, go out there, apply, do certain things. Like, you, and here's another thing that's been kind of bothering me is, like, I've seen some people post anytime there's, like, one extreme of, like, oh, like, this is the time to grind. There's also the extreme of, like, people saying, like, oh, well, this quarantine isn't a productivity contest. Like, it's okay if you're lazy. No. I'm sorry with this PC crap. Like, I'm not gonna just say it's okay to be lazy. Like, we're all going through the same extreme time where who knows what the hell is gonna happen with all this craziness. A lot of us have, like, been out of work or at least been less work. You know, have less work. A lot of us are going through this tough times. You know, a lot of us have family members that may either have corona or passed away or have, you know, sickness go on, and, you know, we're all in the same boat. And so it's not fair to, honestly, to yourself to just make excuses and say it's okay if I just, you know, slack off here or there. You know, I don't have to grind as hard as this other person. Granted, not everyone can have the same, like, mindset and work ethic, but yes. I hate the idea of just saying it's okay. It's kind of like something I ran with on my recent YouTube where it's not okay to just be 300 pounds obese and say, well, it's okay because I don't hate myself. Like, I shouldn't have that. Like, I don't want you to hate yourself and, like, fat shame.
But no, you could be better.
But no, you can be better. Like, have the decency to yourself and love yourself enough to know that you can be better, that you can strive for more, that you can go out and apply for a job right now, and so that you aren't in a hole $3,000, $4,000 from payments. I don't know what else to say on it. Yeah. And
so, just getting back to, like, what I was sort of finishing up with was, you know, don't expect or don't rely or don't hope that the government or somebody's going to come save you from your bills, the stimulus check that may or may not be coming out, whatever. When I heard that, I said, I don't give a fuck if it's coming out because I'm not going to need
savings.
Well, exactly. If it does come out, I'm definitely just going to put it into savings and put it into myself to where I can make more money with it. But I'm not waiting around for anybody to come save me, because I still have bills, responsibilities that I need to pay for, and I'm not fucking gonna be babied or just, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna wait till I get my check or whatever. Fuck that. Get out there, make some money, do what you can.
I don't even
There's
think
plenty of
it's like
opportunity out
I don't
there.
even think it's like a millennial thing or just like a certain age group that just relies on like the government or mom and dad to like pay bills. But I just don't know what this thing is nowadays that people just rely on. Like, I feel like the government to just pay for that. People think that things are free, and there's nothing free. Even if, like, you know, we got Medicare for all, whatever. We're not going to get political, but even if we got something like that, you have to understand that nothing is free. Everything either will be paid for later or will be paid for in tax dollars or in some kind of other format. Like, nothing is free in life, so you can't just expect handouts. You need to just keep your foot on the gas. Be proactive with looking for different ways you can, like, make money, improve your life, get a promotion, improve your situation, whatever it is. You can't just, like, expect. You can't do the same thing at the gym every day. Do the machine circuit and hope to, you know, look like Arnold or something like that. You're gonna have to venture out. You're gonna have to try new things. You're gonna have to push yourself to actually break a sweat or whatever it is, to actually get progress or to get anywhere.
Yes, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this, and we can move on from just fuck you, get to work. But, you know, the way I've seen it and the way it's worked for me is I have, during this time when I knew shit was hitting the fan, not that I wasn't giving my all and really focusing on my clients that I had, but this is a time to really double down on the people that have stuck with you, whether it be customers, clients, whatever, and really figure out how you can help them through these times. And if you were doing that before, and it just obviously leads into this, they're going to be with you. They're going to be ride or die, which all my clients, which I'm super grateful for, are. You just have to truly care and take care of your clients or customers, and you're going to be okay. I think a lot of people didn't really invest into their clients or customers before this, and that's why either their businesses and or jobs or whatever have either slowed or failed, and now they're having to do these other little part-time side gigs and whatever. Just know moving forward, once we're out of this hole, you could even still probably fix it now, just care.
Yeah, that's something it's kind of like a side note, so less F you and all that stuff. But I feel like there's so many client or trainers that just treat it. I mean, it is a job. We understand that you got to make money, but so many people just treat clients like they're just an object, and they're just gotta, you know, we're just gonna give you XYZ exercises and move on.
Yep.
But like, you gotta care about your people. Like, I don't know any other way. Like, I get a little more emotionally attached with people, I think.
Too.
But like, I am excited when my client hits a PR, when my client does this or that.
Or drops
like,
a fuck ton of weight.
Like, I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm as excited as I am with my own personal progress, but I am invested in, like, their goals, their side hustles, their family, whatever's going on with them. Like, I'm excited for them.
It gets me fired up just because I know that they're enjoying it, and they're like, they know they have more potential in themselves.
Positive energy, you're just feeding off. And, you know, like you said, like, I don't know, I just feel like there's so many people that just said, like, when this kind of came down, like, oh, I guess I can't train my clients. I was so proactive, like, the week as things were slowly starting to close, I was talking to all my clients saying, hey, I'm going to buy this equipment. Like, if need be, we can go here, we can go there. Like, I don't want you to lose all the progress we just spent a year, 2 years, months creating. Because not only is it frustrating for me to, like, okay, once we get back, like, all the stuff we just worked on is gone, but how do you think it is for them? Like, they just, you know, spend all this money to get to here, and then you're just going to let them just go. So that's kind of, you know,
spoke in the wheel.
I don't have anyone specific to be mad at about this, but
No.
just, there's some trainers overall, and there are other great trainers, like you said, like yourself, that, you know, have been more proactive in keeping people fit. But I don't know, it's something to be said, I guess.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. I think, I'm done talking about it. Just care. Don't just be like, oh, this is another. I just got to get through this 30 minutes, and I get another pay.
Yeah, just take care of your people.
Yeah, just care, man.
Take care of people.
Invest in them a little bit.
Yeah.
But moving on, I know that you worked out today. What'd you train?
Train legs, and you know the funny thing is, I kind of mentioned it to you. So Griffin actually came over because I got that squat stand in, and so
I know y'all motherfuckers never hit me up.
I've been telling you. You are free to come any day. It's basically 9 a.m. every time we work out. And you are free to come, free to get a lift in. The problem is you're usually training clients and
I like
hustling,
how y'all planned it around that. Okay.
Yeah, but point is, you're free to come. But Griffin's been coming over, and I had to remind him, like, it's not a what do you call it, a hassle for him to, like, come. Like, you know, we don't mind. But anyway, and we hit legs, and we crushed it. It was the first workout or leg day with the rack in, and so we did back squats for the first time in a while, which felt weird. We did front squats without having to freaking clean it up, which was nice.
Nice.
So we did back squats. We just did 225. We did sets of 10, 3 sets of 10. We did just 135 on front squats, which was somewhat heavy after doing the back squats for sets of 12.
Nice.
Then Jefferson squats.
Oh God.
And then we did I think that was it on quad. But then we did our usual kind of hamstring stuff, like some single leg RDLs and some leg curls. But Jesus Christ, my hip flexors and quads were tore up to this day.
Yeah.
And then this morning, like, him and I were both, like, looking at each other like, yeah, my hip flexors are kind of sore, quads are still a little tore up. We said, but shit, it's leg day.
Yeah, dude.
And so we still squat. We did 245 sets of 6 and, whatever on after. We did some Bulgarians that hopefully kind of stretched it while we were working. But, no, I had a pretty productive leg. Like, my legs right now kind of have that kind of, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, like that kind of fatigued and numb kind of sore feeling.
Yep.
Which you kind of love, but then you kind of like, it's kind of annoying. But it's a good leg day. You know what the funny thing is? Although the workouts aren't the same feeling, I've had some great workouts, especially the past week since this quarantine stuff.
Is it because of like the new atmosphere or the fresh atmosphere, or is it just because you just know you have a lot more time to be able to devote to it?
I think it's the atmosphere to where it's like literally like minimal distractions. Like the biggest distraction is just talking to Maddie or Griffin or whatever it is, and that's not really a distraction. Like we're all lifting together, So I think it's the new atmosphere because it's literally just me in a garage with the rack, the weights. It's it, and I think it's also like you're kind of forced to be a little bit more creative and use what's available to you. Like over the first. Because I guess, what are we, like, week 4 into quarantine?
It feels like months.
Feels like it. Point is, the first 2 or 3 weeks, like, we have bands, we have some light dumbbells, we have a barbell. Like, we're trying to figure out, okay, what works? Like, what can we do that actually is, like, challenging, that, like, feels good, like, during a workout? So, I feel like by now, we figured out exactly, like, what exercises we like to do on chest, for arms, for back, and things like that. Because arms pretty easy. Like you can do so many different curls. Like we have the dumbbells to do that. Legs even like squats, lunges, Bulgarians, leg curls. Like we can be kind of creative. But with chest and back, it was kind of interesting because we kind of queued up a bench press rack for a while. Now that we have an actual rack, it's a lot better. And even with like rows for barbells, like we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we queue up a chest fly? What can we do that actually feels good versus just doing a bunch of push-ups? Because, of course, at a gym, you have, the pec deck, the cable crossover, the hammer strength machines. So I feel like by now, the workouts have been phenomenal the past week, or great the past week, not phenomenal, because we finally narrowed down, like, what works. Like, we even have it queued up to where at the top of the squat stand, if we set the J-hooks that high and set the bar, we can do pull-ups.
Sure.
You, like, have your, like, legs kind of like 90 degree backwards behind you. You're kind of like hanging funny, but you can do legit pull-ups. So like I'm noticing like what we can do. We can kind of prop up the bench to do an incline bench because we just have a flat bench that doesn't adjust. But we can prop it up to do an incline. And we finally, I think, started to narrow down like what works and what doesn't in our garage gym. I think it's a mixture of the environment and then finally, just like you learn your body in a normal gym, we're kind of learning the new gym equipment that we have and forced to do free weighted movements, which are great and probably the best.
That's awesome. Reason being is because we're not even halfway through April and potentially still have until June fucking 10th. Minimum. Which we don't need to go into who's saying what, but I see posts, and these are on Facebook, so obviously it's real news. But on Facebook, people are posting, oh, Trump might open it up at the April 30th, but it doesn't matter because Northam has the state closed until June 10th. So I don't know. We'll see.
States have their own kind of thing, and I think what are we supposed to hit our peak? I think things are slowing down right now, so I think we should hit the peak either. What is it, Monday? Maybe like late this week or like next week. I think is when we're supposed to hit our peak in the U.S. And then how long do things taper down? Maybe another month. And then the question is, like, okay, if you slowly reopen things, like...
Is it going to peak back up?
Is it going to peak back up? And then it's like, I don't know how long until, a vaccine, like, comes out. I think, like, earliest would probably be in, like, the winter. So I don't know. It's a shit show. It really is. So like, I'm glad I have the equipment I do, and
just work, lift, and
I don't know.
focus on
I
you.
even told Maddie yesterday. I said even when the gyms reopen, at least like for the meantime, I might do a one leg day week at the old garage.
Oh yeah.
Just because I feel like I'm forced to do tough exercises like freaking, Jefferson's bunch of squat variations. Walking lunges down a driveway, like you have to do like tough stuff. There's no leg extension where you're sitting relaxing.
There's nothing comfortable about it.
There's no leg press. You're sipping your BCAAs or whatever. You're overcome, just like daydreaming. No, like you're in the shit. You're just like pushing through. Especially when it's like a hot, day outside, a little humid in there. The workouts are great.
It feels great. No, dead serious. The last time we all worked out together, that was awesome. Yeah. There was a good vibe going.
We worked didn't out have the rack.
No,
so it's gonna be nice.
We worked out for like 3 hours still, and when I've been able to work out at a few other friends' houses. Very far distance to go, so I don't work out often. But it's been awesome just because it's so gritty. It's like it's just you, the weights, and you're just trying to use your mind to like figure out how to make it tough and how to like really push. So out of this whole time, like one question I have for you is, what piece of equipment have you missed most? Like if you had to like go get one right now, what would be it?
Probably this is my answer, but I feel like it's not. I feel like it's multiple pieces, like a cable crossover.
Okay. Well, you could do so much with it.
That's what I mean. Because, like, I just want a cable machine because I can do tricep pushdowns, cable kickbacks, cable curls, face pulls. I can do side raises, with that. I could do, front raises. I could do, cable fly. I could do, straight bar pull down. Like, I can almost do so many things. Like, because right now, I can almost do everything. Like, I don't have heavy enough dumbbells. But honestly, I mostly prefer barbell movements anyway, so I'm doing a lot of overhead press, a lot of rows, squats, chest press. But if I'm missing something, I don't love banded like tricep extensions and these other things as much as I miss like the cable. So if I could choose, it would probably be like a cable machine or like a lat pull down, things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Make and do.
Yeah. If I had to pick one piece that like, if I could have, it's not essential at all. It is not essential. But for me, it gets my quad so pumped up. Hack squat.
Yeah.
I love it.
The hack squat is fucking good.
If I just had that for legs and I didn't do anything else, I'd probably be happy. I'd just do like 10 sets of 10 and just be done for the day. I love it. And it is kind of lazy though, because I love it way more than squat. Because I don't have to.
The hack squat is harder than the leg press. The hack squat's another.
Did I say leg press? Yeah. I thought I said it's easier than it's easier than a squat.
It is easier than a
barbell squat.
Yeah.
Because I can just get in, I don't have to balance it. I just have to go down and I just have to push it back up all my might. And something about it, I like it. It's kind of a lazy boy thing.
I think it's just going to be so unique though. I was telling Manny this. I wonder how many people that built like their little home gym are going to stay there after all this.
I wish I did, man. And I have some money set aside, but I know like
I could do it.
I know.
It's just the problem
is the thing is, and here's the thing, and I know we don't want to put it out there too much, but I know you have things that you're planning on eventually doing yourself with you and Maddie, and maybe creating some type of environment for lifters. But I guess that kind of gives it away.
All right, just go on.
Well, Brock and Maddie, they're doing things, but I keep on. I'm like, man, I should go ahead and start buying stuff off Facebook Marketplace, like a squat rack or a power rack, and but I don't really have anywhere to put it. I'd probably put it here in the garage. But
yeah, well, here's my.
I'm like, well, but Brock and Maddie might be doing something, so I don't know.
The thing is, like, all this equipment obviously people have bought. Unless you have you literally own the house. The chances of you keeping that garage as a gym are probably unlikely. So I mean, I would guess maybe 10 to 20% the most of the people that bought this stuff are keeping it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not keeping it, you're gonna sell it. So it's gonna flood the market. Okay, well, who's gonna buy that stuff? It's gonna have to be someone that either already has a home gym. So again, a small percentage of people, or it's gonna be gyms. So I wonder. Is Gold's, AmFam, these other gyms going to just buy some new barbells and equipment? Or is it going to be a lot of people trying to start their own gyms now? But you still need a lot of capital and money, even if things are low. So, there's definitely, things I'm going to buy and moves I'm going to try and make. But at the same time, I just wonder where all this equipment's going to go. Because, I mean, it's a lot of equipment. And, I mean, even if some of these local gyms or whatever buy some of it, where are all these like rogue squat racks gonna go? Because I mean, things are sold out.
Yes.
Like not delayed. They're sold out. Like, you can't even like purchase it on like most of these websites right now. And that goes for weights, racks, bars, dumbbells, everything. And so I'm like, where is all this equipment gonna go once it's done? Like, it's either gonna sit in people's basements or
That's what it's gonna do.
I feel like it has to, because not everything can be sold. Because not everyone, because the same people that are selling it would have been the people to buy it.
Yes.
So it's like there's only a small percentage of people that either have a gym, have a home gym, or gym owners locally that are going to buy this equipment back from these people that spent this money. I don't know what's going to go on.
I also see a few other variants, like, because most of these people that bought the equipment are going to want to sell it, like you said.
Yeah.
But they're going to want to sell it at a price to where they're at least making their money back or making some. But nobody's going to spend that because it's used and it's coming from Joe Schmo.
Like I bought a new Texas Power Bar, and that was basically, I think, 300 or like right around there, like 280. And I would be surprised if someone can get like 240 for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably like 180, 200, which is like crazy for something like that.
And if you're going to resell it in a few months, you're going to losing some money.
Yeah. I feel like. Yeah, I feel like most of these people that bought all this gym equipment, I get it. I get where you come from, but like if you don't have a long-term plan for the equipment that you're purchasing, then you really probably overpaid on like everything you bought.
Yes.
And you're gonna be kind of screwed over.
And you're gonna be underpaid when you go to sell it.
Yeah. So I mean, I have a plan in mind with like the equipment that I've bought. So it really wasn't a big deal for me, but I don't know what some of these people are going to do.
Damn if I don't want to do my own thing, or just at least have my own spot, which now that if I could ever make it over there and live with y'all, I would be like, I'd get my fix. But now I'm like, man, it'd be so convenient just to have my own
even
weights.
in like my parents' garage, like it almost makes me want to buy a house right now just to build out the garage. Like,
just go buy a house too.
God damn, man, I see some of these home gyms that some people have, like even before all this, and I don't know. I even talked to Maddie though about like
telling you, man, we gotta get a warehouse now, like a small one.
I know.
Just do it. So I could bring all my clients there because I'm training in yards. Anyways, whatever. We could still figure that out later on, but I don't know.
Point is that where is all this equipment going to go? But it segues into the topic I wanted to talk about before that I mentioned. It was price gouging. So, like right now, there's a lot of people that are like, of course, either currently buying a lot of equipment and trying to resell it, or have already bought a bunch of equipment ahead of time and are reselling. My view on it is, sure, I don't really think you're screwing anyone over. Are you taking advantage of a situation? For sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking advantage of a situation if the people are consensually willing to pay for it, and you're not gun to their head making them pay for it. Let them waste their money. That's not on you. You're just taking advantage of a situation. It's simple supply and demand.
And there's a thing called Google where they can research if there's cheaper options out there.
Yeah. So I don't see anything wrong with it. However, I did see a comment that makes sense, and it was like, don't be mad when people after this is over come back and remember how you treated them or the prices you were asking for and however you were. So I think there might be some grudges that people have after all this is said and done. But I don't take any grudge against any of these people because I think, if, get the money you can. If people are willing to pay for it, let them do it.
I'd say, hey, go find it somewhere else then if you don't want to buy it from me.
Yeah. I don't know. But, because that is, I don't know. I just think the market's going to be really, really kind of screwy and interesting.
It is, but it's going to be a time to buy equipment at least here soon.
Yeah.
Within the next few months, it'll be a time to buy for everybody if you want it. If you need it.
If you can need it, if you can use it.
Yeah.
If you have plans for it, but.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've done with most of the stuff. Luckily, I got, Maddie and I drove down to Carolina like the week of things shutting down, so we got a pretty good deal on some plates. I just bought some plates recently that were like a little overpriced probably, but way better than what other people are charging. Some people are charging like $3 a pound. I saw $5 per pound. You can shove that up your ass, but I don't know. It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But.
I even think so. Speaking of like sales and whatnot, GYMFLO's still been, shipping out orders and stuff like that. I'd say our sales have gone down a little bit, because obviously we don't make essential products per se. It's mainly when the gym is open, people are lifting more frequently. We have pre-workouts, stuff that would help with performance while you're working out. But not everybody's working out. At least not all of our customers are able to, or probably making the effort to do so during these times. So I will say our sales have gone down a little bit, but not to the point where I'm like worried or like, man, this ship's going down or anything like that. Fortunately, we do have a ton of diehards, which I'm super grateful for. But it has been a weird shift in like just seeing things all of our retail partners slowing down and seeing them struggle, which I feel for because we don't really have a ton of overhead. We rent out of my mom's house, which is very cheap for us, a couple $100 a month, and unlike some of our retail partners where they're paying $1,500, $2,000 a month for lease, then they're having to buy product, pay their employees. It's just a shit show. I mean, I can only imagine. We'll eventually break, but I don't know why I just went on that. But I guess we're on the topic of sales. But I don't know. I really feel like things will be switching around here soon, depending on when things open up and when we can all just get back to normal life.
One thing that I don't really want to dive too deep into it, but one thing I think is interesting is after this opens up, how many businesses will realize they don't really need that much office space, and they'll have half their employees work from home.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? So it's interesting, like how many of these office jobs, they're not going to get eliminated, but they're going to have a lot more people work at home, which might drive up more people to have home gyms.
Yes.
It might drive up more people to be active. It might drive people to be less active, eat more snacks because they're home. It might drive down daycare. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting, honestly, with how life is after all this. And I think a lot of different industries and aspects, but, the hell if I know anything about it. I'm just,
Yeah, I definitely think people will be working more remotely for sure. And, I mean, even just taking their businesses maybe to more e-commerce instead of having a retail spot because, of delivery options and USPS and FedEx still staying open to stuff like this.
I think if I was a business, I wouldn't do really any kind of in-person retail. I mean, I get the advantage of it because I know as a consumer I like to see things in person. Yeah. But, I mean, besides clothes, most things I'm just buying online. But I will say, like, man, do I love, like, a good just, like, I don't really buy anything during this, but, like, Black Friday shopping, just, like, screwing around, going to places, seeing all the madness, seeing deals. I miss it. And I kind of hate how everything is online now, but from a economic standpoint, like it just makes sense,
Oh yeah, well, that's why like Amazon's killing it and like hired 100,000 people. Yeah. It's like they're the monster right now.
Yeah.
But I do think retail has its place because if I was to say like not that GYMFLO would ever do it, maybe eventually if we had like our own spot and people could actually shop or like come in person and buy, like at a warehouse, but. Having a face-to-face interaction, I think would help me or allow me to build a better connection with my customers and relationship and be able to help them.
Yeah, you can't replace face-to-face interaction, whether it's a service or a good, like, just, especially with a brand that's smaller or, that's growing.
And that's what I want. I do want that face-to-face, but it's really hard when we are based out of e-commerce. Like, I feel like I would be able to really build something stronger relationships, or be that place that people could come to if like they need to talk, or if they needed help with this or training, nutrition, how to lifting, whatever. They could be, I'm going to swing by the shop, or I'm going to swing by the the store and say what's up and talk to them in person, because it's hard to relay messages via text. I try and do a lot of video to people and whatnot. I even put out my personal number for people to give me a call or text, but
that was kind of I would call stupid, but I respect it. High-key respect it.
No, fortunately, not a ton of people. Maybe 10 people have reached out to me randomly, and I'm like, yo, who's this? But, like, I don't know. I have gotten a lot more random phone calls from, like, marketer things. I don't know if people have got my number that way. But
fill you in on
yeah. But, I mean, I literally want to try my best to build as much relationships or just give back to the people that support. So, like, if people are having tough times or questions or need advice or tips or just some structure, I am literally there, whether it's text message, email, Instagram, social media. I want to be there on the spot to be that guy. I want to be the guy that they come
you really
to.
Can't replace, like, relationships with people, like just real genuine relationships, or like giving someone advice that that they're going to appreciate and utilize. And I know when I first like started lifting, like so-and-so at the gym that I always see, like that's older or bigger or whatever, that I respect a lot, like them saying, hey, I see you working hard or whatever, like the little things like that, or the advice that you can be given, like goes a long way that you don't even realize. So I think it's worth it.
And, now with being online, or mainly like a social media, I guess not social media brand, but like that's where a lot of transaction and like, I guess, what do you call it? not entertainment. What is it, like engagement? That's
Yeah.
where a lot of brands and companies get engagement. It's social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. So it's like, I want to figure out ways to where I can at least start reaching more people. That's why I'm doing this platform right here, which I don't really talk about supplements here, and I don't want to be that person that just rambles on about supplements when maybe not as many people care deep down about why things work the way they do, which I do want to start talking about it more, because maybe you do need to see why we put so much effort into our products and why we use patented ingredients and why we put all of our money back into our products and don't pay ourselves, because they are expensive products.
Yeah, I'd love in the future podcast that we do kind of expand on, not even just like GYMFLO's brand, but just shoot the shit about any kind of supplements or old school stuff. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It is an interesting industry.
And we'll definitely get into that on our next one, because I'd love to talk about why we are different and why we do what we do.
Yeah,
we aren't just a discount or a budget brand. We make shit that we want to take and expect to see results from. So we put a lot of sweat, money, tears, and just life into this. So I expect anybody that does support us, they do, see results from what we create and put out there. But I guess we can sort of go ahead and start to polish off this bad boy.
I was going to say we can answer that one question about the deadlift.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. So it's Thor Von Bronson. How does he say his last name?
Thor Von Bronson. Half-Thor Bjornsson, something like that. Anyway, he's attempting a 501 kilogram deadlift, which I'm guessing is like 1,200 pounds. Let me look up the exact amount. But I know it would break Eddie Hall's record, which I think was just 500.
So the 501 times 2.2? Yeah.
Okay, it's 100, 102.2.
1,000, 102.
1,000, whatever I said. 1,102 pounds.
Yeah.
Something absolutely insane. But anyway, and so he's attempting that, I think, in like May is the plan. From what I hear, I'm not really super into it. I know we both aren't.
Yeah.
But I think he's attempting that in May. Now, the problem is he's doing it in a home gym. I'm assuming the plates are probably calibrated and all
I've heard that.
But because it's at a home gym, it's not in an official meet or competition. It's not. I don't believe it's being officially counted as a deadlift world record. How I feel about it, and I was kind of explaining this to you. I was talking to Griffin about it earlier. Is like I feel like as long as like the plates are calibrated and you can have someone to verify, who says like hitting it in a home gym versus hitting it in like a conference hall or meet or some special stadium or whatever it is makes it any more official.
The gravity's gravity, you know what I'm saying?
Gravity's gravity, weight's weight. At the same time, I feel like if there aren't standards, records and things can be a little bit up in the air. So I feel like at the end of the day, I'm okay with it not being official. But at the same time, I don't know, it's a weird one. It's a weird one because I feel like I don't know. I feel like he still is breaking the record. It should be respected as such. But at the same time, I feel like if there aren't standards and official regulations with how things have to be done, then records can be thin and weird.
And my opinion on it is, I have heard that he paid to get calibrated weights and bar and shit like that sent in. And I think of it as this. I compare it to like football when you want to challenge a play. They have so many different camera angles and watch to see if it was legit touchdown or out of bounds, whatever, by the millisecond, and like being able to freeze a frame. So for the deadlift, being able to obviously know that all the weights are calibrated and everything's legit and the weight is the correct weight. If there's a few different camera angles, I guess I would be okay with it being
I would be
called.
okay with it being official. I just understand also the other side. Apparently, I think I'm sure Eddie Hall apparently doesn't think it should be. Understandably, it's his record that's being broken.
Yeah.
And then apparently Brian Shaw just made a video about it and said that.
I guess if I worked for it, I wouldn't want. If I had to do it in a sanctioned and within a time frame and at an event, I don't know, because like you were saying, there's different variants. Like, he doesn't have to do any other lifts with it. He doesn't have to wait like at a time. He can, when he feels right, he can go like just walk up to the bar and do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it shouldn't be technically the official world record, but it should still be just looked at with awe. I don't know. But that's, I guess, my opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I don't really keep up with either of them. I don't follow either of them either. But I definitely think It's hella weight. So regardless, dude gets the bun for having the ego lift or the biggest lift in the garage, which is awesome. He's able to do that. So, side note, and a lot of people I guess just don't know him, and I met him because of the Nutrition Corner's Nut Bash last year. They had him, and everybody's like, "Oh man, Thor, he's lifting over 1,000 pounds deadlift." Dude's 400 pounds and like 6'8" or whatever. The man of men. You know, he is a man.
He was the mountain for a reason on Game of Thrones. Like, he's like the... God.
400 pounds.
Massive.
It's a lot of meat.
You ever seen him and his wife?
Yeah, I saw a video like he was curling her. I was like, yo, she looks like a child.
Yeah, I won't get into it. We'll keep it PG.
But there's a guy named Chris Duffin. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Well, dude's 275, or he was 275 or 280. Deadlifting 1,000 for 2 3/4 reps, which I think is more impressive than one lift at 1,100 pounds. Dude's under 300 pounds, not the size of Thor, and was deadlifting 1,000 pounds for 2 reps. Went for a third one. I think he got it to like 2/3 of the way and dropped it. But
I think it's kind of like heavyweight versus like lightweight with when it comes to like fighters. Like, people always want the biggest and the baddest, even if it's not technically the best pound for pound. So like, people always kind of look at the heavyweight, champion with way more respect than, let's say, Manny Pacquiao or whatever it is that's a lot lighter weight.
And it's just like, it's way more, at least to me, it's like, yo, Thor who? Like, this dude's not a tiny guy, but comparison, tiny guy.
Yeah.
And just out handling Thor with those 2 lifts or 2 reps or whatever. But
yeah.
I don't know, maybe Thor could do it for 2. I don't know if he could gas it out, but like I said, I don't really know too much about him. But anyways, that answers that. Let's get into some Answer the Internet.
You want to pick like 2 each?
Yeah, we'll do 2 each. Questions as fucked up as you are. And again, these aren't too serious, but having some fun. I think it's a great way to end this show. All right, I'm going to go deep on this side. Boom. I feel like towards the right's been nasty. Like, if you go this way, it's like nice and raunchy, and this way gets a little mild. All right. I'll flip one first, and we'll go. Right. So, Answer the Internet. Here we go. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
All right. Answer the Internet. So, this is a would you rather question. Would you rather have a chef, masseuse, or chauffeur for the rest of your life? A chef, masseuse, or chauffeur. So, obviously, chef cooks food. Masseuse, massage. Chauffeur just drives you everywhere. For people that don't know, I feel like we might have some idiots out there.
Not. My initial instinct was definitely not chauffeur because I like driving. The thing with the masseuse would be really nice because, of course, massage is relaxing, but I feel like I've for so long wanted some kind of sense of recovery that I don't have to pay for. With just how much lifting your body just kind of breaks down no matter what you do. And then the thing with the chef is, God, the chef would just. I think I'm gonna go with chef just because how much I enjoy food. I don't mind cooking it, but it's nice when I don't have to. And just to have all that prepared for me and know it's killer food, especially if you make killer food that's healthy, I think I'm definitely going with the chef on that one.
So I'm with you as far as a chauffeur. I love driving. I do enjoy it. So, and it does not even compare towards a chef or masseuse because that's not that much of a task for me to do. And plus, I don't know if I trust other people driving me all the time.
Yeah.
But I'd have to go masseuse. Reason being is my body is jacked up.
Yeah, yours is way worse.
From a wreck that I had many years ago. But plus, I still don't really take care of myself with stretching or recovery or mobility either. So it just compounds. It's like a giant snowball going down. I have very little muscle to show for how tight I am. But I'd have to go masseuse. Reason being is just I'd love to get worked out all the time, man. And plus, I can eat bland all the time too. So masseuse all day. With or without happy ending. Hopefully female.
Yeah.
Hopefully female. I wouldn't mind a male though, whatever, but no happy endings for that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and flip one over.
All right. Answer the Internet. Would you want a camera following you around 24/7? It would catch funny moments, but also see the fucked up shit you do.
Me? Yes. No, no.
I feel like, you know what this makes me think of?
Almost,
this makes me think of Joe Exotic on Tiger King. Dude had a camera on him, like,
dude,
nearly 24/7.
And I thought about it, man. I was like, man, I probably have a lot of things that I don't want people to, like, not that I don't want people to know about me, but, like, would be like, oh, like 24/7. I'm thinking of, like, everything throughout my day, like go to the bathroom, stuff like that.
I'm not really worried about just, like, you know, the bathroom stuff. I don't know. I think it would put way too much pressure on, like, the little things I do.
So let me see it again.
It almost feel like a comedy. I feel like with all the dumb
like,
shit.
I don't know who would want it 24/7. Now, every now and then, just like capture like Gary Vee style.
A better question would be like, how much would it cost for a camera to follow you around 24/7?
Ungodly.
Depends how much they'd have to pay me. I feel like I could do like $50,000 a month, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would add to a year.
I'm gonna go yes.
Pay me a good amount.
I'm gonna go yes on the camera following me, just because yes, it would put pressure on me, but it would make me almost like, I don't want to compare it to this, but almost like, you know, religion or something like that, being like, oh, I should act right because somebody's always watching me. I feel like
people would realize how, like, you know, boring my life is.
Well, definitely, but it also capture a lot of good things and things that I'm not able to capture. Like, speaking about putting out content and like having the nerve to do it.
Yeah.
If somebody's catching it and it's very organic and like genuine, I think that would be good for me because I wouldn't have to like stress about, oh, I need to put together a nice piece of content. Like, I could just have people follow me and see why I do what I do, and which at least lately I've been doubling down on myself and making sure I'm pushing myself with everything. So it's like, I think people would get a good perspective, and it would even at least allow me to look back and be like, damn, I really have accomplished a lot.
You appreciate kind of what you have more.
Yeah.
Or what you do.
So yes, I would do it, yes, and it would just help me be a little bit more straight edge. I wouldn't be such a dumbass sometimes.
You're up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you're up.
All right. Poll the internet. Here we go. Which is a cockier thing to say? You never outkick your... Hold on. What? Which is a cockier thing to say? Guys, let me read this out. I'm half retarded. You never outkick your coverage, or you always outkick your coverage. What does that mean?
What does that even... Let me read that.
Read it. No, am I crazy?
Which is a cockier thing to say? You never outkick your coverage, or you always outkick your coverage.
Is that football?
I feel like it's football, which I don't really follow enough to really get it. You want to grab another one?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Me and Brock, man, I don't know.
Clearly don't watch enough football.
I always say this, and football is cool, and this is what I say, though, to people that are, like, hardcore about it with fantasy leagues and all this other shit. Y'all are worried about their stats when you ain't got no stats yourself. Yeah. That's what I'm talking, and that's deep down what I think. I'm like, why would I be worried about somebody else's stats who's making millions a year when I'm not even doing shit. I'm sitting on the couch watching them, dreaming about their life. F that. Which, sports are cool. They're cool to go see in person. Anyways, I don't need to rant about that. On to the next card. Answer the internet. Would you rather go to heaven? Oh. Would you rather go to heaven or become a ghost on Earth after you die? Become a ghost on Earth. For sure.
I feel like that would be cool if I could do it for a little period of time. But
yeah.
But if I had to stay... then I'd probably just go to heaven.
You're right. I guess, I don't know.
I mean, it'd be cool to kind of, I wouldn't even, like, haunt anyone. I'd just kind of fuck with people.
That's what I'm saying.
And, like, just, you know, make people spill stuff or, you know, I don't know. I'd just kind of screw around mostly, which would be funny for a while, but then I feel like I'd get tired of it.
Especially if nobody can see you and, like, you aren't able to communicate with anybody else. It's just like, oh, you're just, like, knocking shit off tables and stuff. It'd get kind of boring. Yeah, I'd be like a weekend, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, then, now that I'm thinking that a little bit more through, yeah, I'm going to heaven.
All right, wrap this up with this last one. Would you rather sleep with a sexy midget or a below-average regular chick?
Ooh. I'm going sexy midget. I'm dead serious. Of course.
I'm definitely going sexy midget too. Yeah.
Reason being,
I don't know.
This isn't an everyday occurrence. This isn't like something you get all the time. And how many times? Tell me this.
That'll be a better story.
I was about to say. Tell me this. How many times have you been able to tell your boys? Yo, I hooked up with this hot midget girl. Or even if you've seen a hot midget. I mean, not to say midgets aren't hot, but just like regular people. Not a lot of hot people out there, at least to me maybe. But if I came across one, I wouldn't mind.
I feel like the whole dynamic of sleeping with a midget would be very different.
Yes.
So it would be it'd be quite an experience, quite a story to tell. So I feel like that'd be a lot better. The below average regular chick, you wouldn't even want to tell anyone. It would be like a big regret.
It's what I call the moped. It's fun to ride, but you don't tell your friends about it. You know what I'm saying? You call it the moped.
Yeah.
You don't brag to your friends about it too much.
You had to put a name on it. That's what it would be.
I like the images they show in the card.
Yeah.
The above average chick's definitely a little thick.
Yeah.
Not a little. She's kind of thick. She hit the quarantine snacks for sure.
Yeah. She looks like a Jack Black character. Yeah.
But yeah, we're going sexy midget.
Yeah, sexy midget all the way.
Guys, that was a good one. Hopefully y'all got some type of value from it. And I really want to be able to put these out to give something back. And obviously we don't have much to really focus on if you don't give us anything to talk about. So if there's anything at all, not only would it probably help you or help answer some questions you might have, it would help a lot of other people that maybe don't have the confidence to ask. And, or just follow along and just get some type of value from it.
Yeah, ask some questions, get us going.
Yeah. And until next time, we're going to try and do these once a week, probably every Monday, and I'll have it up, if not tonight, Monday night, super early tomorrow, Tuesday morning. And until next time, guys, follow us both on social media, which I'll add all of our links down in the description below. And we'll see you next week. Peace.